back to Sin. Chapter 22. I wonder how many chapters are actually in this book. Hold up. Let me do some quick digging. 31. We have less than 10 chapters to go. Holy shit. Okay. William Garton, age 12, summer term, class 1A. Housemaster's report. William is a grave child, in many ways almost old-fashioned. He is, however, well liked by the other boys, although we have spoken about this before. He has been the subject of some bullying in the past by two of the more rambunctious personalities in his year. As you will see from the other master's comments, William's academic work is very good, particularly in mathematics, not surprising when we consider his background. We look forward to watching him prosper further on his return to us in September. Andrew Brown, headmaster. William's serious approach to his work and his generally quiet demeanor had made his first year with us most successful. Keep up the good work, William. Broughton West, headmaster. William does well at Latin, a very real achievement when we consider that when he came to us, his grounding in the subject was not at all that it should have been. Carl Don, Latin. William has made steady progress in French. His prep is always meticulous and on time. Well done, William. I gather the family intends spending some time in France this year. This may improve William's accent, which tends to be a little heavy. Alistair Knight, French. William is top of the class in mathematics. I believe I can claim only a small responsibility in this matter. Nurture versus nature. No argument here, I feel. Duncan Haychurch, mathematics. William is making good progress in English. He works hard. His written work is exceedingly neat and tidy. What he lacks, I feel, is style. A little more reading, perhaps. I have prepared a recommended list, which I attach as holiday reading. Sorry, William. James Sanders, English. William pays attention in class. He is progressing steadily, and his contribution to class project work is always interesting and constructive. Michael Moore, Geography. William is good at history. His memory for dates and names is excellent. His essays, though factual and accurate, do not as yet show flair. Brian Johnson, History. Alas, William is not an artist. He is always a pleasure to have in class and does his best. We persevere. However, I think even at this early stage we should consider dropping this subject after O-levels. Miles Masterson, Art. William is an excellent tennis player. He represented us brilliantly in our last tournament with Eton. His swimming is powerful, and his speed will improve greatly if he can find greater rhythm in his breathing. He's not a gymnast, but we can't be everything, can we? Congratulations, William, on winning the school under-16 tennis championship. Arthur Caldwell. Overall, William's health has been excellent this term. As you know, he suffers from a slight stammer when excited. I am confident he will grow out of it. All in all, a healthy and quite happy child. Megan Awiston, SRN Matron. Underneath were dates for the beginning of the next quarter, future time, structured, organized. Confidential, Sir Charles and Lady Harding. Stephen is gifted and charming. A seductive and potentially dangerous combination. We have spoken of this before. I have seen these blessings before. The incident in the tower, while not in itself a cause for great worry, must not, however, be ignored. It was, I feel, a warning to us all. While Mr. Blake may believe that the road of excess leads to injury, does not prove Mr. Blake right. I do not suggest Stephen is a genius. He has, however, an outstanding intelligence. It is wise to remember Dryden's dictum, great wits are sure to madness near Alid, and thin partitions do their bounds divide. I'm guessing that was Allied. It's spelled really fucking weird. It is Allied, son of a bitch. Oops. They took out many of the vowels and replaced it with apostrophes. I feel that Stephen will develop the calm he needs so much in a smaller house, which we intend setting up next term for our scholars. The house will be run by Mr. and Mrs. Trent. You will be interested to know that Mrs. Trent is, in a minor way, a landscape artist. They are a couple of great kindness and understanding. You will see from the attached report that Stephen's performance is erratic, exceptional in some subjects, undisciplined in others. As it was impossible for you to attend my suggested meeting before the end of term, I was anxious to write to you to voice my opinion. Since my own son's tragedy, I have become slightly more daring in warning parents of potential danger in the extraordinary experience of bringing up children. Yours sincerely, Broughton West, Headmaster. I found this letter many years after it was written. Elizabeth took nothing, you see, when she left. Memory's voice isn't distinct, but then memory is never pure, and recollection is always colored by the life lived since. Were they true to their time, the adolescent voices that now seemed to flood the room? Was the undertone of anger in Stephen's defiant laughter true, as he stood there and denied allegations of recklessness and irresponsibility during Charles's investigation of the incident in the tower, and William's passionate defense of his hero? Was the intensity of his innocent adoration still clear? Perhaps replaying old scenes, we are seduced by ghost musicians. I turned towards them, as though a strand of my hair was caught in the instruments they seemed to play, tugged into old tune, and I heard William's voice. Uncle Charles? Honestly, please try to imagine it. Stephen standing there on the parapet, high above us all. Gosh, he was brave, Uncle Charles. And Hendricks ghastly bullying mean Hendricks trapped in the quad, and Stephen crying out, Friends, Bolden, school prefects, lend me your ears. I come to shame Hendricks, not to praise him. The pain that bullies cause lives after them, son of a bitch. The cowardice is oft entered in their reports, so let it not be with Hendricks. And then Uncle Charles, the head boy Oldham, shouting, Harding, what the hell do you think? I am Oldham. Draw your attention to injustice and bullying. Oh, Uncle Charles, you would have been so proud of Stephen. Please let me tell you the rest, please. All right, William, carry on. Charles sighed as he nodded ruefully to William. who in a fever of excitement continued his tale, playing the parts as he went along, Stephen moving from foot to foot, embarrassed but shyly pleased with him to his daring. "You're a bloody junior, Harding. You're not here to draw my attention to anything. What, Oldham? You are not an honorable man? Get down, Harding. Get down this minute. Have prefects lost their reason? Bear with me, Oldham." And then Uncle Charles, with all the boys stamping and cheering, Stephen bowed to us all and got down from the parapet. And the voice of the storyteller faded and suddenly died. I sat quietly for a minute, then I picked up Stephen's summer term report. He was 14 at the time. Summer term, age 14, Stephen Harding, class 3A. How old was William? Me. Fucking page is stuck. Hold on. Damn it. Nope. There we go. 12. Okay, they're 2 years apart. I keep forgetting that. Stephen is, in a word, a scholar. He has been first in class since he arrived here. I have had no problems with his work, in either accuracy or presentation. I believe from conversations in the common room that this is not a universal experience with Stephen. However, his cleverness is not resented by the other boys. That statement alone summarizes much of Stephen and his charm. I look forward to teaching him in the future. Carl Don Latin. Stephen has a natural flair for Greek. He has the heart of a classicist combined with the temperament of an artist. We await development. Xavier James, Greek. Stephen is an outstanding pupil, particularly in French literature. He is currently entranced by Baudelaire, though I feel I ought to inform you that he has moved well past the class curriculum in respect of this author. Stephen's sardonic use of the quotation, "Cum lux de volupta," for his class essay on house atmosphere, rather gave the game away. I have specifically forbidden Les Fleurs de Mal, a decision in which I feel confident you will be in full agreement. Let's hope this does not dampen Stephen's enthusiasm for French. Alistair Knight, French. Stephen's essays are in reality short stories. They demonstrate a maturity that is extraordinary. His rather wild sense of humor takes the sting out of some of the more morbid writings. James Sanders, English. No mathematician he. What more can I say? We do our best to inculcate against his natural inclinations the rudiments of mathematical principles and mostly fail. I suggest after O-levels that the subject be dropped entirely. No one benefits. Stephen is, however, always pleasant in his behavior, and ironically, I always enjoy having him in class. Duncan Haychurch, Mathematics. It is not wise, in my opinion, that Stephen has allowed himself to become enamored of some subjects, and others seem to bore him. Geography is important. I gained Stephen's attention only once during the debate, Geography is History. His subsequent essay on the subject was brilliant. I have, in fact, taken a liberty of submitting it for the Ovington Award this year. It would be a great honor for the school were he to win, though not necessarily character building for Stephen. A familiar dilemma. Michael Moore, Geography. Stephen enjoys history and is always in the top 3. His essays are as memorable for their style as for their content, a rarity amongst historians. He is a pleasure to have in the classroom and he contributes to much debates. Alex Dunnington, History. Though reasonable at science, Stephen's behavior in the lab this term was, on 1 or 2 occasions, potentially dangerous. A calmer, more considerate approach is called for. Perhaps his move to Mr. Trent's house will achieve what is necessary in this department. Colin Thornton, Science. Stephen is above average at art. He is not, however, as committed as one would have expected. Nevertheless, his exciting use of color and his interesting view of even the most basic object is always fascinating. Could surprise us all in art, that is. Miles Masterson, Art. Stephen's work in the gymnasium is reasonably good. His tennis is adequate. He seems not to make much effort, perhaps intimidated by his cousin William's success. Stephen's tendency to asthma makes swimming not his favorite sport. We persevere in this element. Not a natural one for Stephen, I'm afraid. Arthur Caldwell, Physical Education. I feel that one. I have asthma and I fucking hated phys ed. Stephen had 2 minor attacks of asthma this term. We are increasingly aware of the psychosomatic element in asthma. Fuck you. The more Stephen calms down, the better it will be for him. Well, yes, if you're a child not running around being a fucking child, then yeah, you ain't gonna have an asthma attack. But it's not really psychosomatic. Is it? Do people get asthma attacks when they, have a panic attack? I don't do that. Please leave that in the comments below if you do. I'm very curious now. Because I don't experience that. I would really like to know if you do. Anyway. The move to the Trent's house is welcomed by me. I have long recommended this idea. Megan Austin, SRN Matron. I put these reports, which I now know almost by heart, back in their carved wooden box, and picked up a crumpled article from years ago called The Artist in His Time, Brennington Orchard Art Critic. Is it a failure in the artist to be unfashionable? Each artist lives in his or her own modern time. Are we simply looking for landmarks, ever hoping, through a reconcilable historical pattern, to tame something essentially timeless, the artistic impulse? I pose these questions, perhaps awkwardly, because Miss Elizabeth Ashbridge is that most awkward thing, an unfashionable artist. Her work has been exhibited occasionally over the past 10 years. It is rarely reviewed, perhaps an understandable decision on the part of editors who have more fashionable artists to cover. Nevertheless, I contend that, though not contemporary in the normal usage of the word, and though not an innovative force, the very nature of genius is ever to innovate, Miss Ashbridge is an artist worthy of our most serious appreciation. Skies, mostly English, her obsession, are executed with the growing note of desolation, as though the tension between the narrowness of our lives and the broad freedom of the skies was becoming clearer and ever more painful to her. Compare her earlier charming blues London to her more stark flight. A single slightly ragged cloud seemingly beating against the edges of the canvas, as though desperate for escape from a harsh, high, almost searing blue. One can see why it is naive in the extreme to dismiss Miss Ashbridge's work as a as that of a minor lady painter who has a thing about skies. Her Athens Revisited is a major development from her work Athens Morning. The latter, I believe, was executed on Miss Ashbridge's honeymoon when she was married to Hubert Bathys. He was tragically killed early on in their marriage. I also recommend Studio Sky. It has a haunting quality, as though the artist was trapped in her studio and, like Oscar Wilde, trying to catch that little tent of blue which prisoners call the sky. There are many other fine pieces, sympathetically mounted in Adrian Carrendon's small gallery in Mount Street. I recommend a visit. Reports from strangers, reports from distant lands, the past. I know. Know what, Dominic? Ruth, I know. Silence. I know. Again and again silence. Silence gives consent to the knowledge I would have kept from him. No. It was a heavy beat. Should I say I'm sorry? Lie again? I take the coward's way. I say nothing. Ruth? I put down my drink. We were having dinner. Yes? Did you hear me? Oh, yes. Don't you want to know how? No. I only wanted to know if you know who. I have only one question. Only one? Yes. Will you continue? Silence. Oh, what a coward soul is mine. I see, Ruth, that once again you have risen to the occasion. Does that sardonic note mean that I may be let off? Is that the phrase, so cheaply? I've won. I can be carefree. I am loved, and I love. Is it my fault that I do not love where I am loved? That I accepted the gift I should have rejected? But then he would have been unhappy. Perhaps not. If I had acted honorably from the start. Such harsh demands, Ruth. Such terrible penalties. Ruth, listen to the man. I am rooted in you. From the day I saw you, I loved you. Did love ever enter through the eye? I thought that was lust. You are a kind of perfection, like a formula? I had perhaps pleasing proportions. I wore the numbers 36, 24, 36. Draw it. Add some clothes, or not, as you like. Top it with a face. A vision of plains on poles. Dark brown, actually, for the pupils, black for the brows. Skin unpitted, the color of full cream. And the lips bite red. The way they like it. And lower down, legs in proportion, fine and long. Was that the geometry of his downfall? So why does Charles resist? But he doesn't. Yes, he does. There's no not knowing that knowledge. I am the other, the addition to Elizabeth again. Was he even-handed, do you think? As Dominic spoke, I tried to listen. I knew it was important. I tried. One should. He was in pain. The pain of isolation. The isolation of pain. I listened to his pain. It's hard to hear. One listens so rarely, certainly can't feel it. Another's pain. Why does everyone in pain want to share it? There is no diminution. Me divided into your pain will not diminish it. Surely you knew that, Dominic. Your pain divided by me, by my decent concern, would not diminish it. And eventually, Dominic, I would grow bored by your pain, and wish to be the victim just for a change. And now, listening to pain, I wanted to race towards pleasure, any kind of pleasure, for relief. You had a kind of light around you, an intelligence, a quickness, speed of light. Do you know what you say, Dominic? How you pick your words from your version of the world? I see you turning on a point almost towards me. A pedestal, perhaps? In my visions of you, you're always turning towards me. Isn't that ironic? Listen. In this vision of you, as I reached towards it, kept turning towards me because I wanted it so much it didn't move away. Will he remember me as a vision? Like the man who fell in love with the face of a passenger on a ship, sailing away, just a face, and stayed faithful? I might have been just a remembered face, and done no harm, such an innocent thing, a face one loved from a distance. I thought, Ruth, it's her, it's Ruth, and so it always has been, such a simple thing. I should have let you go, Dominic. I should have known I was dealing with an idealist in love, worse than a romantic. Oh, infinitely. An idealist, always faithful, loyal, trustworthy, rare of course, but not treasured, few buyers. And now I don't know what to do. It's just impossible. Yes, Professor, you have a dilemma, indeed you have. What to do with the pain, with the love, too much love. Should this be presented in percentages, quantities, liquid perhaps, comparatively, statistically, geometrically, in algebraic terms, if x equals ? I don't know. I'm not the mathematician. Just picked up some phrases. Extra love marks the critical point. What does one do with the extra love? Add an extra ingredient, bitterness, some contrast, hate perhaps? You have destroyed our past. It just seems to lead to now. His past has been unpredictable, and the future has a shadow. It falls across the path. Will it stumble? We will stumble if we continue on the road. It's not, Ruth, that I could ever stop loving you, ever. It is simply that I'm not brave enough to see you all the time and know what I know. No, I'm a coward. No. I'm afraid of you. In the morning, even I do not know the word. He continues, and I fear other things. Naked power at night, but sometimes in the morning, naked mornings, morning power. Even the hidden sweetness in you when you touch or talk to William, I suppose I fear my fear. So I'll just go. Go? Go where and to what? I'll live apart from you. I can't live with you. Oh God, this is going to be very difficult. What will Charles say? Think, Ruth, think. I could lose him. Charles. Dominic is still talking. Elizabeth is giving up her studio here. Elizabeth? What is her name doing here? In this room, in this conversation. What? I see I've got your attention. Charles means to spend less time in London. He's building her a special studio at Frimpton. How do you know? Because I talked to Charles. When? A few days ago. I suppose he thought it more appropriate to tell me about the studio. More appropriate to talk to Dominic about new arrangements? Did you talk on the telephone? Freud always hates the telephone. Fraud always hates the telephone. Is that relevant? No. I just want to know how I was betrayed, for it is a betrayal. Within my world, with him, I thought I was hermetically sealed. No possible intruder, even casual visitors, not allowed. But now I feel the terror of the periphery. I feel the force that could trap me there forever, and an even stronger force that might propel me into an eternal free fall. But I won't let this happen. I have hooks to hold on to, and though suspended above it, I am not in the abyss yet. I have lost you totally. What? These are unlucky words. I do not want to hear them, in case I learn to say them. Ruth, please listen. Yes? By moving into Elizabeth's studio, I can see William in a familiar environment. It'll be less traumatic for him. Yes, is that all you can say? Collect your thoughts, Ruth. No, it's not. I think your decision is false. It's a false move. Don't make it. You astound me, Ruth. You're an aberration in some ways. I thought you swore eternal allegiance to me. I don't remember that phrase. You're right, Dominic. I think you said you'd love me always, something like that. Well, Ruth, make a decision quickly. Which is best, make Dominic stay or make him go? Which is best for your relationship with Charles? For your suddenly weakening relationship with Charles, which is best? Keep Dominic. Much better. A base. One must have a base for a secret life. Too obvious for other way. The unmarried woman with her married lover. No, keep Dominic. He wants to stay. Such childish nonsense about the studio. It makes no sense. The pathetic business about William. William is at boarding school, and holidays and half-terms are spent at Lexington. Stupid Dominic. Stupid Dominic? Not words I normally put together. To make him stay, be subtle, be slow, just move. The way you can, towards the drinks cabinet. Now turn, look a little sad, but slow sad. Let everything drain from your face so that, as you know, only sensuous silkiness remains. Watch his face. There is a tiny flicker. Hold on to it. With your eyes. Just hold it. But carefully, Ruth. Carefully. Say nothing. Silence. It is essential for concentration. For the concentration of your power to achieve your will. Now give him a drink. Stand close. Don't move. He must reach out for you, otherwise it's impossible for him. For the future, breathe deeply so your breasts move to a rhythm you know. Leave him now. You can feel the tension in him. Move to the sofa, lie lengthways, sigh sadly, and let one leg fall down so that the skirt of your dress falls away a little, and just gaze. He's coming towards the sofa. Hold his eyes. Hold them sadly. And here, he is here. Above me. Now he's about to, and his hands betray him. Desperate, they search again for the way in. And it's over. I've won. I lie back. Dominic won't leave. Not this time. Not ever. And that's where we're gonna end. Write your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.